All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Asian session. I'm your host for tonight's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. We are all so happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this evening as we dive into the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions for the next hour or so. Grab a pen and paper for notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. And if everybody can hear me loud and clear, let me know. Drop me a 1. I really appreciate it. Okay. And that I see that an email went out that said the session was canceled. That is an error on our part because I am back. Yesterday was my birthday. I only wanted to take yesterday off. So I apologize for that an email went out that said that. As a matter of fact, give me 1 second, everybody. Let me see if we can do something about that real quick. Hold on. Because I am definitely here, and I'm glad that you all are here. So hold on. All right, I am back, everybody. So my apologies for that auto email being sent out like that tonight's session was canceled. So we are working to get that corrected, but we are going to move on with tonight so we can dive right into the chart. So let me close this out and let's take a look at the fundamentals. So this morning, 7 a.m., right, during the pre-New York session, we got the Bank of England monetary policy report and official rate. And we got exactly what we thought, 50 basis points. And then all of these central banks are kind of falling in line where they walk it back in regards to not giving guarantees about the future. Everything is data dependent. And when you look at the Bank of England and Governor Bailey, talks of recession and just economic woes, which we all kind of know. So see, uncertainty reigns, except in Britain. Pound slides at BOE's recession warning, saying limiting rate hikes. Okay, so that's the issue going forward. As investors, always looking for what's going to happen next, and right, they really talked it down today. So even though we got the 50 basis point hike, you saw the pound kind of take a dive right during the monetary policy after investors started to digest the monetary policy summary. So that doesn't surprise us now, as it seems like it's kind of the thing that everybody is doing, remaining data dependent and giving no guarantees in the future of what the rate hikes would actually look like. So any questions in regards to what happened with the Bank of England this morning and the pound overall? So still major economic challenges, okay? So, and then, right, we've got tonight at 9:30, we have a policy statement, right? Monetary policy statement coming out of the Reserve Bank of Australia. So we'll see what type of volatility that that may cause as well. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there coming up at 9:30. All right. So with that being said, let's take a look at trading economics, and we can see the Bank of England raises rates by 50 basis points. We see that crude oil falls below $90 a barrel on Thursday, the lowest since February when Russia invaded Ukraine, as investors are coming to terms. Right? I don't know why I just did that, but coming to terms really that demand issues, right? Because of fears of recession and tightening and things like that. Well, so it's the same old story, right? People starting to fear the recession and inflation is still high. Okay, so that's the narrative. And let's take a look at the DXY as a result. So if we look at the weekly, I want to take a look at this, where we've got a D extension pegged here at this 12,000, 212 level, this 118 extension. Why? Because we got this correction down around the 118. I mean, down to 86, down around the 86 retracement level. So we expect a 118 extension at some point. We did form a new high here though, and price pushed down. Okay, and we're back below 12,950, so back below that support, and it's fighting it. So we'll see if this little zone here, which will become more evident in lower time frames, if this little zone here, right, holds. Okay, past resistance becoming future support, and that's from a weekly time frame. So we'll see. We'll see what role the dollar wants to play now as we continue to move forward with those recessionary fears and things like that. So kind of indecisive so far this week. And if we go and we look at the daily, we see exactly how that's playing out. Okay, so you've got a high here. This high is looking to be respected again. Okay, this resistance level. And we'll see as we look to finish out the week what type of momentum the dollar has going into next week, which will kind of help us tell the tale going forward for August. So kind of a back and forth thing right now with the dollar. And we know tomorrow, how can I forget that, right? Tomorrow, first Friday of the month, okay, August 5th, we have Canadian employment numbers coming out, along with non-farm payroll and unemployment rate and average hourly earnings. So that's going to be important tomorrow for the dollar. If it is respected with that form of head and shoulders, is giving you that type of that type of look. But this here, right? That's kind of weird. Here's our neckline. Okay, here was our break to the downside and back up. This is weird, but anything outside of this move here, absolutely, right? Absolutely. So minus this move here, you're looking right, something like that. Okay, something like that. That's what you're talking about, right? Is that what you're looking at, JC? Yeah, I got you. I'll follow you on that. It's just a weird move how I broke that neckline and pushed that, but I can roll with that, especially since it's holding here, looking like it wants to form a swing high. So we'll see how it closes out the week. Non-farm payroll, right, may have an impact on whether that pushes down to the neckline or moves up and breaks it and moves higher. Okay, along the path for the dollar. So that's where we are. A little back and forth. Hold on one second. I'll make sure everybody has control over their microphone. So let's take a look at some of the setups have been posting on those 15-minute charts. Let me know how you guys feel, right? Drop me a 1 if you think those are decent setups, or tell me if they stink. Still trying to get used to them. Let me let me know what you guys think. Yeah, they're nice setups. put my short-term hat back on, but I really like those type of setups, and I'm glad you guys do too. You just be patient as usual, right? Have your rules, use your proper risk management, and I'll make sure I continue to put that in the notes just as a reminder that we should always be thinking about that. So that'll become redundant, but those are very, 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 very important. So matter of fact, let's dive in and take a look at these, especially some of the ones that we posted today, and then we'll kind of go and take a look back at some of the ones that we put out a couple of days ago. So let's take a look at, since we're talking about the dollar, let's take a look at that dollar Swissy on the 15. Posted that one for a buy. Before I do that, anybody have any questions regarding the DXY or anything fundamentally? I know I went through that kind of quick, but we kind of got off to a late start, so wanted to roll right through that. No, we're good. Okay. All right. So let's talk about it. So let's go to the dollar Swiss first. We'll start with that and see what type of movement we're getting on a dollar Swiss, and we'll just go straight to the 15, and we're starting to get right that push up. Okay, so we're doing the same thing. We're looking for the same type of price action, just on a lower time frame. Okay, so they move a little bit faster than your daily, your 4 hour, your 1 hour. Okay, so we continue to develop our patience for those higher time frame moves. I said, hey, why not? Ryan, Casey, and I discussed it. Why not go down to the 15, go down to the 5, right, for entry potentially, and get some things moving along for people. That so the setups don't last as long and take as long to develop. So far so good. So this is your dollar Swiss on the 15, and we're right here hovering around at this resistance level here, but looking like we're trying to go to target. So we're just coming down, right? Each time frame is a fractal of the other time frame, of the higher time frame, and we can see where this has just been bouncing around, right? Dollar Swiss, that's all the way on your daily time frame, and we've come into a major support, that double bottom type action, and it's trying to make its mind up. So when you go down to the lower time frames, you can see, hey, there's plays, right? There's plays that we could take advantage of. Here's the 1 hour. Okay, beautiful 80-20 off that 1 hour. Okay, now, right, it's all about the impulse leg. So on your 1 hour, we are sitting at a 61.8. So you got the trend line break and the pullback. It's beautiful. Now we're sitting here trying to make that U-turn off this 1 hour support level that is formed. Okay, so if you scroll down and you zoom in, this is what that looks like. This is the pullback, and this is what it looks like. So of course we have down fibs running on it, because why? Because in order for price to pull back, it had to move down. Okay, so this is where we are, and then you can set your targets off the fib levels. Now we're looking at this long term. If the dollar gets bullish, that's just going to keep right on going. But in the meantime, there's shorter setups for us to get involved in. So that's a nice bullish engulfing candle there, coming off that zone. That's that 1 hour support at 95.41 up against that 118. So now it's just a matter of, is it time for it to get moving? Okay, for good. Maybe it retests this bullish candle. We'll see. But that's where we are. Now, what you can do on some of these is you can even come down to like your 5 minute. Okay, so how sometimes we go from the 1 to the 15, we can go from the 15 to the 5, right? Just like if you traded off a 4 hour chart, you could drop down to your 1 hour for entry. Okay, so it's the same thing, right? Same thing. Once you understand the sequence, the smaller time frame, and the movement on the smaller time frame doesn't scare you as much, right? It doesn't seem as erratic when, right, you can put a rhythm to it with the fibs and understanding the ABCD wave and how price action moves. That's why we stress it so much. Okay, start you higher, and then we work our way down. So we can see that this is our lowest point in this impulse leg. So we're going to drive it straight through there, and you got a trend line break. Now for our scalpers, you might be out already. You might be done. You got your money and you're out. But you can see here, even on your 5 minute, okay, it just becomes, all right, well, here we are, we've got a low. And now it's just a matter of when this pulls back, does it want to hold in our zone and then continue like so? So there's your initial thrust off the trend line break. And now, right, we've got this pull back, okay? So you get a little bit more granular on the lower time frames, more candles, okay? You got a candle every 5 minutes, but it's amazing how the price action moves, right? In the same way, and it creates the same type of patterns, right? No matter what. Yeah. I'm gonna get my crown set up. Why not? That's weird, but that is it. There we go. There's a crown. Didn't have it right, but there we go, right there. So maybe we get that pull back to that zone and then a continuation. We'll see how that goes. Any questions on the dollar Swiss? No, good. Okay. Pretty clear. All right. So let me, hold on 1 second. Showing us. All right. There we go, everybody. Got control over your microphones now. So that's the dollar Swiss. So that's where we are. And then if you are, so I'm glad I look at my phone. I was almost in dreamland. I got you. I got you. So let me, you just bring these targets down, right? So here, okay, there. And now you're sitting on the 5 minute with those price targets. Okay. Inner, outer, long-term trend line, just like that. So that's the dollar Swiss. Let's take a look at, also posted the CAD Swiss. So let's take a look at that one. See how that's faring. So that one is still right in play, hasn't really gotten moving. Okay. So we do, that's a beautiful bullish engulfing on that one too. So it's kind of just dancing around in our Asian session. So we'll continue to monitor that one. Maybe we get a push down into further into the zone. Just continue to watch it, but it's kind of just moving sideways. Okay, we did get a nice bullish candle coming off the end there, right? Good morning star, right? Decision, 2 indecision candles, and then we've got a decision to the upside. Now we're just pushing sideways, just like we did here. Okay, so just continue to keep an eye on that one. But we remember earlier in the week where we posted this one for the potential sell setup. So it pushed a little bit higher, okay, pushed it higher in the zone, and then it collapsed, right? So I don't know, did anybody play that CAD Swiss? Anybody wait on that and play the breaks to the downside? That was a nice one. How far did that drop? That was almost 70 pips off the inner trend line break. It's a nice move, nice 15-minute play. Missed it, okay. So that's where we are. So now we push down. We've come into another zone. We've got a AB boundary with a shallow retracement. So we're in that 80-20 zone, and we look for a correction and a pullback. Okay. So that's where we are on that. Same thing on the 5. Right. You can take it down to the lower time frame and play trend line breaks if you want to. See that there? All right. So you just draw your trend lines. Okay. Oops. Don't want to draw them like that, everybody. And okay, Just bring it down somewhere off the high, straight down through the low like that. And you can see it broke it. Now it's just a matter of, right, what it wants to do from there. Do you get a pullback, correction? We know we've got a zone drawn out here on the 15. Does it want to make another low right before it reverses and come into the zone? Right? I think so. But there's opportunity there on that play. All right. Like so. That's where we are. So if you're playing now, okay, you're going to wait for a pullback to see if it holds. See, now look, you got the trend line break. Now, if it wants to pull back, okay, if it wants to pull back, then you put your stop below the low prior to the trend line break, like so, okay. So if it pulls back and holds in your zone, like this, like that, and then reverses, you're good. But if it wants to just continue and make one more drive lower and create another low into the zone, then you've got your protection there, right? That's why you have to protect yourself, protect your downside. Okay? But there. So if you pull back into that zone, right? Say it's 61.8. My stop's below the low, right? 5 or 6 pips, looking at 17 pips to the extension. To the resistance 14, and to that target, you're looking at 31. Okay, so no matter the time frame, same concept. Any questions on the CAD Swiss? No? Okay. All right. Let's check the pound CAD. Posted that one as well. And we go down, let's go down to the 15. Okay. So we're coming to the target. We didn't quite make it up there, but it looking like it wants to turn over now. Okay. Looking like it's turning over now. We'll see. See if it makes it to the target there. Okay. Off that B boundary. So target 1, target 2. So you can do the same thing, right? We can walk it down. Same thing, just in reverse. Okay. And as we always say, right? These are, you had a push to the upside, and now this is turning over. So this could possibly be a correction and then a continuation up. You could play them either way. But when I've got that new AB boundary, that 80-20 type of setup, we're calling it short because it's a counter trend trade setup. So I was just linking that to absolutely nowhere. So let me put a 5-minute chart in like this. Okay. And you just look at these targets here. So, okay. It's gonna let me select the zone. There we go. Take that down. And then here's the 5, right? So you can see it. You can see how it broke. Okay. It moved sideways a bit. Okay. But if it stops above the high, it never took you out, or depending on when you saw it, if you catch consolidation, then you just move it to the outside of the zone for the break like that, for your second touch and through, like so. Okay. And that trade is moving. So you can put your stop above your high once you get the reversal and that break, something like that. Okay. And now maybe even on your 5, okay, that's still within that framework. There's an 8-6. So that's natural that pulls back. See, look, A, B, C, 8-6, D comes into the area, we get a reversal. So what this should be doing, which is late, is it should be, this is our high point. It should be like this on the 5. Okay. So maybe you get a drive up and then another drive down. Okay, like so. It take you to your target. Maybe it turns over to 382. Maybe we don't get it to push as high, but That's the goal. Okay. So you could trade these how you like, right? So if you enter aggressively off your trend line break, bang, for example, there. Okay. Or maybe you took it off that initial one. Okay. Stops above the high, you're safe there. But if you took it off this high here, then you could just set yourself up and say, all right, well, I entered here, okay, like so, there. So what's my distance between there and my stop loss? Call it 10 pips. All right, I need 20. That'll put me at a 2-to-1 at least. I'm pretty much there. Okay. So that's your 2-to-1 type of scenario, pretty much. Okay. Like this. Okay. Okay. Boom. Okay. Easy peasy, just like that. Yeah. And then you got more, right? You got more there to target one. Yeah. So now that's I guess the target one. It's 31 pips. Everybody catch the flow. Drop me a 2 in the chat. Let me know. Talk to me a little bit.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're good. Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, so that's another setup. So that's the pound CAD. That one's off and running. Okay, now, so let's take a look at the Euro USD. I believe that was starting to move. Take a look at that on the 15-minute. Yeah, starting to make its way down a little bit. What'd you say?
Yeah, I said that started to move down, but it's pulling back to the trend line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice, nice. So far so good. Okay. All just because you understand the Fibonacci sequence, right? Recognizing that leg, right? That impulse leg, that move up, there's the break. So we know, look, in the grand scheme of things, we know. So now you guys are getting the whole thing, the complete deal. See, we've been watching this for a while, off the longer swing. But there's trades within trades, right? We're inside the candle now. So look, the 118, we talked about this before. That was almost 300 pips back top side. Okay, over 300 pips. And now we got caught in the range. Well, it's a pretty big range. Okay. It's a pretty big impulsive leg. It's a nice reversal. And that's what you're seeing. All right. Look at the break. See? You're just zooming in. That's all you're doing. So do I have a 5-minute chart on here? I do. So if you go down to your 5, if you didn't want to play it off here, you can play it on here, off of here. Really good. But for a good trend line break setup, okay, you can take your levels down. All right. We know where our zone is. Okay. We know there's always a possibility you can get there. So we want to mark that up, be aware. But look, see? And how we went over those lessons a couple weeks ago now, right? Maybe it was a couple weeks, right? Where we look at the staircase and the levels that it takes out and likes to pull back, right? Those breaks and those retests. And you can take advantage of those corrections. Okay. So come down, draw a trend line to the upside, like so.
Benny, I decided to wait on this. I drew a box because it's ranging at the top there.
And you played the break of the range?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the break of the range. So would you do a retest to the break and range, or once it breaks and close?
Yeah, you can do that, right? Because you totally understand how that sequence works, right? That was brilliant, right? So you draw somewhat of a box. You can play the break and the retest, just like you're saying. You know, that's
I'm waiting for the other one at the bottom though, like the one at the bottom, because it didn't break below there.
The support.
Yeah.
The support, this here, yep. Let me see, can I get that on the 5? Is that giving it to me? It's giving me a new one now, so it broke it. So it's creating a new one here on the 5. So we'll do that in like this pinkish color like that. Okay. Because in essence, what is that on the 5? That's an 80-20, right? See how that past resistance becoming future support and how that's pushed down, and now it's trying to reverse. So maybe you get it. If you wait, it's a beautiful way to trade too, right? If you're the type to say, hey, I want to wait for breaks and retest, then do it, because oftentimes it will come back to you. Now, sometimes it just gets away and it keeps running, right? We don't control that. But if that's your game and your rule, then that's a beautiful opportunity there. If that comes back up and then you look to get short again, that's a-okay. Because if you play aggressively off of trend line breaks, so let me take this out. If you play aggressively off of a trend line break, okay, so somewhere up here where this broke, that move sideways, though, so even off of this candle, you're gonna have to measure that out. If you go a 2-to-1, right? So this one just kept going, but oftentimes on these impulse candles like that, it'll pull back to retest it. So if you said, you know what, I finally got that break, like this, and say you entered off of that huge one, okay. First of all, right, you gauge that, because that's a big candle on a 5-minute broke through. So you can't be surprised if that pulls back. But if you use a wider stop like this high, that's technically the high prior to the trend line break there, then what you're going to be looking for is you're just going to be looking for a larger move. You're playing it with a larger stop, right, which is 12 pips on the 5, like that. So you're looking for 24 pips downside. But you got to know that, man, this might dance around a little bit, because that's a huge impulse candle that pushed to break through that level. It took a lot to break. See how it double bottoms here? And then it took a lot to push and break through that level, and it did. Now, we didn't get that immediate pullback, but we may get it now, and that'll play into your favor, okay, to get back short. But if you're looking at this now, say you just caught this now and saw it, then I really like your play. Even though that's how you originally set it up, I like it as it's pushed down and it's forming support here at this level for the potential pullback in the zone, and then right back down. Okay, so if the initial entry was missed, then it can give you another opportunity if it pulls back into the zone. Now, it may or may not, right? But if it does, now, okay, my risk to reward is in my favor if I'm putting my stop here. Otherwise, you have to bring your stop down into the mess somewhere. Try to get that maybe above that high, right? Or here somewhere. Okay, but yep, just wait on it. See if it'll pull back to you. Okay, off of that break. That one went pretty fast in a hurry, especially after that consolidation. So that could be a tough play if you're playing trend line breaks. If you're playing breaks and pullbacks, in essence retest, then this is right in your wheelhouse, coming into your wheelhouse here shortly, maybe. So just continue to watch that. But good job on drawing that zone off that range. That's fine to do that, right? So maybe you don't play, right, the trend line as it's moving sideways. You drew a box around it and you wait for the breakout of the major support of that rectangle that you draw around it, okay? So good job. Good job. Any other questions on this Euro USD? Like GU already today? For sure. All right. So there we go. Okay. So it becomes easy to do the dance on a lower time frame when you understand, right? When you've worked and put in all the work and you know how to do that top-down analysis, and you understand how the sequence works, you know, with those longer setups, then this becomes easy to see. It becomes easy to see and easy to make these plays. So that is right. Your euro dollar. Even if you've come into the inner circle and you know, you're just a scalper. I like my 10 or 15 pips. You can make it there. Right. That made I don't know what that dropped before the U-turn. So wherever that break was, I mean that pushed down pretty good ways over 10 pips. Okay, so Nice way to find U-turn points. So that is the Euro USD. Let's look at, it's 935 now. So let's look at this this Euro Aussie pair that we posted to see what happened on that now that we've got a fundamental occurrence. Coming down, everybody, coming down, right? Pushed up, it formed, it went into that zone, right? So we can see where we had this initial, well, this initial fib level. See how it pushed up and went to the D, and now it's reversing into that zone. It's reversing into that zone. So we didn't catch that original move, but now, right, you're there and you're there. So this is a good one to look at when it blows through that original setup and pushes into our zone. It pretty much held, went above it a little bit, but now it came back down. It came back down. But if you were playing a trend line break, think about it. If you're playing your trend line break, you never got it until now. See? You never got it until now on the 15. Okay. Here's your 5. See? Right? Let's find the low. Let's push us a trend line up there. Okay. Look at that. Okay. So, right. Like so. There. Pretty cool. There's a break. So now we're trying to form that low, which we got. So it becomes natural, right? There's my high. Fibs extended. We don't have it yet. Should be coming in, but this is here, right? Like that. Like so. So maybe at some point we get a pull back into the zone and then a continuation down. What's that second target on that? Let's see. Reset that one. Pushed higher on us. So there. And then that one. So maybe we get a pullback and then a continuation down. That's your target too. There. Right to that. Look at that. Right back to that level. Has resistance become future support? Right back at it again. Okay. So we'll see how that plays out. Any questions on the Euro Aussie? Beautiful setups. Now we can get 100 pips a week off of these. You guys think? Yeah. 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 So now, right, you know how to play your swings, right? And you can jump into the market and you can day trade. Okay. So I do have what did I have? I do have $1 yen, and I hope I'm not too late on it. Got 60 off the AJ today. Awesome. Joy, good job. Good job. So let's check out the UJ. Okay. So you could once you get it all down, you can say, hey, look, I swing, I can build my wealth off my swings and compound. And then my income, my shorter term income, right? Once my account grows and I get used to it, I can get down to these 15 minutes and these 5-minute charts. I can play with the best of them. Get that short term income going too. Okay, that's how you have to think about it. All right, so let's look at the dollar yen. I was working on this one just before we got. Oh, sorry, everybody. Dang, my bad. Probably should have started off with this one since it was a new one that I was working on, but that one's already to the target. Well, there's that one. Man, I wanted to talk about that one and get it posted, but We didn't, but we'll discuss it anyway. So this was because what happened here originally, I pulled this down. Show you how I came about. Well, might be too late now. Yeah, reverse shot. So I'll show you guys what I did on this. This one, okay, was right before the call, though after 8 o'clock. This one was pushing down, and I'm like, well, we've got this pullback higher than the 382, so maybe a D extension in the zone. So I drew the zone up for the reversal, but this wasn't all the way formed yet. This one moved pretty fast. So what I did was I pulled the 1 hour fib down like so. So I'll go back to the 1 because this one wasn't fully formed just yet. It was still making the way down. So I pulled this one down from the 1 hour like this off that impulse leg like so. And that gave me what I was looking for on the 15. But now this one formed, but so it's kind of irrelevant, but kind of the same type of look. That was how I got that target off that 382 back there. But that's a nice swing back to the 382. And all right, same exercise over and over and over again. Okay. Get down to that 5-minute chart. And we take our targets like this. And we can link that down just so we see what it looks like. We take that. And on your 5, right, you can see it. Okay. Pull back, break down through your low. And now it's correcting. That's it. That's the move right there on your 5-minute. You can pull your trend line. There's your break. Any questions on that dollar yen? That one, these move so fast, you got to be on top of them. Okay. All right, and then I had another one. I hope this one is still kind of dancing around. I have to remind myself to get to these first. Yep, that one's moving too. Similar type of setup. Okay, but what we can do here on this, since I didn't get to it, let me get the target down like this. Okay, because we're not there yet, and maybe we'll climb. So do something like this. I'll take this fib out, and that's clean. All right, you got a break and a retest. Now we can run it like so. Okay, so we're almost to the D extension there. So maybe if we hit the D and you get a new fib and a pullback, right? So something like this, maybe prior to getting to that target, that first target, somewhere up around there, and you get a pullback. Okay, then maybe right we can get back long like that. Okay, so keep an eye on that one. My apologies, I couldn't get it posted fast enough or go over it right in the beginning so we can catch that, but it's always another one right around the corner. So yeah. Any questions on that CAD yen? So it's a good exercise, right? Good exercise to train your eyes on this and get used to it on the lower time frames now. Okay, so this one might let me check the one. I wonder if we can get a sharper pullback. Let me see. Yeah, we don't have another quite yet because this may maybe not. Just thinking about something, but we may not. Let me see. So if we end up I know what, guys. Let's check this out. So check this out. If we end up pressing to a high here on this leg, and we get kind of a stall at this this 236, and it forms a high, that's going to give us a new fib like this. Okay, that'll give us a new fib if we get a high to form somewhere around there. So just like that last pair I went over, you could take that down. When that forms, you could take that down like that. So that'll give you kind of that top to bottom fib, bottom to top fib on your 15, like that. And then maybe we get to pull back, okay, like so, like this, down into that zone, and then back up again, like that. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, everybody follow me on that. Did I confuse anybody? Oh no, hope I didn't, but I can go over it again. Oh, hold on, some people don't have control over their mic. Sorry about that. All right, okay, we're good.
Yes, thank you.
All right, cool. So let me go back because we had played. I want to take a look at one of these was still dancing around. I don't know. Maybe the switch here ended up going. Let me see. Yeah, this one just kept dancing around everybody. So that one broke. It broke down, and then it just kept moving sideways. That was one we posted a couple of days ago. It's still kind of doing the dance, but we got that initial break. And at the point in time, we were thinking short below 177, 138.77, and then it pushed up into this area, and it's just danced on it. So I haven't gotten much out of that. That's a sideways move. We looked at the CAD Swiss, and then the CAD Yen before we had sold that, and we went over that for a possible long situation now. But do I have? Let me see something. Yeah. So we had looked at this one before, and can everybody see that on my screen, or did that come up? Hold on. Still on Smart Trader. Oh, right here. Sorry about that. Can everybody see the CAD Yen at that 15-minute screenshot? This is from the other day.
Yes.
Right. Thanks. Appreciate it. So this is once we put the fibs on it, but you can see how it drove up and then pushed down to that target. Right. It came down to that target. Look at that. It's a beautiful 80-20 swing. It was that zone, right? That cluster there. The man pushed down, but then it continued to run. And then it pushed sideways, and then it ended up coming down again to retest that level. So that was the progress on that. Okay. So that was the CAD Yen, and that's why we're in that position now after that impulse move down. So if we go back to the CAD Yen, right, this was that impulse move to the downside that we're working on now, right, on the reversal. So the market does the same thing over and over again. You're just looking at it in a smaller chunk now, and it's moving a little bit faster, but still great setups. Still great setups. So any questions on anything that we covered in regards to those pairs? Okay. So I'm gonna keep doing our best to get those to you as soon as possible. Again, sometimes it's tough because they move fast on the 15-minute chart. So let me go back and look at this Euro USD real quick. To see if we're getting a continuation on that pullback. Not yet. So it tried to. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. All right. Any other pairs of setups that we want to take a look at? No? All right. So I did. Looks like the dollar Swiss is about to move. The NAS I don't have set up. I could write that down. I get that back on my get that updated on my chart, the NAS 100. All right, so give me well, this is Thursday now. We'll make sure we work on that next week. NAS 100. We'll get back on the S&P. We haven't looked at those in a while. P500. Okay, and start looking some more back at the. You're welcome, at the cryptos, some of the cryptos, things like that. I wanted to take a look at gold. And look at that, everybody. All right. So we've got anybody trading that gold to the upside? We saw the 80-20. Look at that out of the zone there.
Yeah, I got out.
Got out.
But it pushed up today.
I know, right? It hit that 382 target. So something. Who said that they got out? Who said that? Who was that? Donette. Yeah. So I mean, I don't blame you. They came to target one, and that was a nice correction and a continued move up. So it's above that 1788. So maybe we'll get a continuation. We'll see. But it is non-farm payroll tomorrow. So it could be interesting. So that's not a bad idea to get out ahead of that. So, but yeah, that's moving nicely. Nicely. Congrats on that. All right. Well, if we don't have, what else do we have? Anybody put anything else in the chat? No, that's it. And so let me look at that dollar Swissy. Take a look at it. Yeah, it's time to recover. Gave a push down. That's the 5. It's moving right along. So probably come in at that first target. Okay. All right. So there's some other stuff we're working on with these setups too that can help you guys who might not like trend lines and things like that for confirmation. There's some other things that I've used in the past that I think it really help you guys as well with your patience and your entries and stuff like that. We'll get into that next week, but I'm glad everybody likes these type of setups. We'll continue to do it because we know it can be slow as molasses sometimes with those longer setups, moving, from the move in your direction. So we want you guys to be able to experience success and winning trades and having trades hit your targets a lot more frequently. So we'll continue to post these in the Telegram. Okay. And so with that being said, we're going to wrap things up for this evening session if we don't have any other questions. All right. Okay. Well, hey, this is Thursday. Let's watch out for non-farm payroll tomorrow. You got Canadian numbers coming out too, jobs numbers. So I would imagine we're probably going to have some more things moving on the 15-minute that we'll probably need to post about tomorrow, especially after that. But it is Friday, so maybe those will move into next week for us. With that being said, everybody, thanks for attending again. My apologies for the email that went out about the canceled session. We got that corrected. Thanks for the heads up. And we look forward to seeing everybody Saturday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the weekly Forex ritual. And we'll make sure we pull in these 15-minute charts now too. Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks, Benny.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Benny.